Hey, good morning, everybody. All right. So we had a pretty much of a go nowhere day yesterday. It looked like maybe we been able to test that overhead resistance, but no, everybody must have just felt like let's just wait and see what the Fed has to say today. Yeah, I'm gonna put them up, Dan. Having issues here today. All right. So I guess whatever movement there's going to be on a day like today, it's going to be in the morning, and then everything's going to go dead. And then things get crazy after 2 o'clock when the Fed starts talking. So what we have, a lot of charts have this part of the chart here from yesterday, and we'll look at it on the Qs and SPY. But if you look at a lot of stocks, this is what they did. It doesn't look exactly like this because this has the 24 hours of trading. You can see the time on the side there, but um, what we have here is what you can probably most of you can see is a head and shoulder stop. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to go down, but that's the pattern that there is at this moment, which is a distribution pattern. It's a failed breakout, a failed new high in this initial trend, a deep retracement. You got a neckline, and we'll see if it breaks. Sometimes, and probably, because of news, it could flip up today. We'll see what it does. So it's going to be a wait and see. Now, if it should break here, as I said, there's a lot of patterns. We'll look at the 65-minute charts. A lot of them have essentially, well, let's see if I can draw it here. Essentially, they have this. Now, let's get rid of this. Let's do it this way. Essentially, they have this. They got a down bar and a sideways consolidation within the lower part of the range. And so we're going to see if it breaks here, which be the same place on the 24-hour chart, it opens up the door to this. Whether traders will be aggressive enough to push that lower ahead of the Fed, maybe they will and get out of the way by 11:30 or whatever. We'll just have to see how that unfolds. So we've got um, just nervousness ahead of the meeting. I was hopeful, probably like many, that it would just continue to push up to resistance and then wait for the news, but that didn't happen. So this is what we got. Um, Similar cues, the down bar and this go nowhere all day. And this pre-market just chopping around here, doing nothing. Uh, Weekly chart, we'd say, hasn't reached this pivot down here. Just stall for the moment. Things came down a lot. Yesterday I said, hey, maybe we get a W pattern. That's still in the cards. And of course that would mean what we would get would be, you got the momentum move, shallow retracement, you get a retest. Sometimes they break the low and they flip back up again. And that would be a much better pattern, having a larger correction through time, building a little bit of a base for, potentially a larger move up, larger pattern, larger move. That's how it works. And so we'll wait to see what happens. It's going to be, whatever trades you pick this morning. This isn't working. What that? I don't know. See if the continuous contract looks better. No, it does not. All right. Maybe it's the system because it doesn't look like that on my other computer. Um, all right. So similar pattern, Russell moved down. At least this one's on support. It broke through that pivot and held here. So maybe we get the retest, see where prices are at. Gold continues to move up, slowly now. Uh, silver's been the laggard all along, but it brought up the rear. But as you can see on the weekly chart, got to resistance, so it's stalled there. I think just based on the way these are moving, it'll go higher. I mean, the trend is up. Here it's sideways, but it's up at resistance and a deep retracement, and that would suggest it can go up. We need to see how this develops here. And Bitcoin was down yesterday, then up. Now it's just flip-flopping around. So this is also a wait and see what it's going to do. Crude oil bouncing off of this major support point here, not getting out of the way. Basically, everybody is waiting here. Not that I don't know what crude oil, if anybody cares about the Fed, but it's a deep retracement. This is in a downtrend. It's on this major support. There are buyers down here, and we'll have to see after a period of consolidation whether it can chop around and drop or chop around and go up. So there's nothing to do from this time frame. Transports continue to look not so great. Downtrend. Maybe we get the W. It's on major support. And if it doesn't hold there, right, the next support level is a decent amount lower. So more wait and see. Keep the powder dry. Uh, so we look at these, and by the time the market opened yesterday, it was a gap down near the low of a bar the second day up. So it was a little bit of a shock pattern. And you see the 15-minute here, there was the initial move down first thing in the morning, and then the markets went into a coma all day. So it was a pretty boring day. Things went nowhere. One of the things, Dan and I talking in the green room, Dan said it was a pretty tough day. And I said, it was only tough if you traded. Meaning, like, if you tried to trade this and, it broke out, came in, tried to go down, came up. It broke out, it came in. So it's just a commission generator. And so now prices are up near the top of the range. You see the cursor, and still, looking on the 65-minute, it's still in the bottom part of the wide range bar there. So it's a sit on your hands type of situation. If it breaks here, maybe shorter retracement into the resistance. If it clears the highs, maybe a short-term trade. Overall, it's not likely to go much higher until after the meeting. And maybe it goes a bit lower. Seems reasonable to me for a bias. Which you're trying to discern which are easier to trade well, sometimes it's not so easy to tell, meaning, uh, with a day situation like we have now, you form a bias from a higher time frame. And so the trend was down. It had not closed above a prior day's high. I covered this yesterday, like 17 days. This was day 17. It closed above a prior bar's high. So it was like, okay, this can go up. Right? So you look at patterns and you say, this pattern historically results in such and such. Will it happen today? And it's like, well, no one knows. You just trade what you see. And prices came up, you can see into this area. And it was like, okay, they held up there. Maybe they can go higher. We'll see. And then, the gap down was on, pretty deep. It hit into this support. And it's like, well, okay, so that's bearish, but sometimes it rattles around here. So you see it came down to this support on the 15-minute and it starts rattling around. So at that point, it's like, all right, it was up 2 days. It's starting to go up 3 days and hit the 200. And being down initially doesn't mean it'll go lower. I mean, it's not a good start. So you start to build the weight of the evidence. So, it's not like you want to go short unless because of the extent of the move down. Right? It's down a lot and it's turned back up again. The morning could have been a jiggle. So at this point, as it starts to go up, it's like, okay, deep retracement. And so this is, what we talk about in the green room, the factory work, the thought process, and MT Live. Deep retracement. What does it do at a deep retracement? Bullish price action would be it goes sideways there and then it'll go higher, or it'll make a shallow pullback and it'll go higher. Well, it retraced all the way back down after going up like that. Bad sign. This is a mess. Is it going to continue to be a mess? I don't know. But I know at that point I'm dealing with a mess. And so, what we did yesterday, nothing. Right? We did a couple of credit spreads on SPX, and that was about it. You know, so today, gonna clear the highs, gonna clear the lows. Where is it at today? It's up at the top of the range, you know, and so not really quite at the top. Well, it can't be at the top of this range, not the top of yesterday's bar, but it's in the middle of this red bar. Nothing to do here, initially, unless it breaks out or breaks down. A lot of this is common sense. It becomes common sense when you remove the MACDs and the stochastics and the fibs and trend lines and all of that hocus pocus stuff. So SPX probably not going to be a very opportune thing today. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see where the strikes are. And you know, whatever you picked, nothing even got close yesterday. And of course, you could have got a little closer. That's your choice. Either way. Not much movement, so maybe prices aren't that far from where they are. I like the whole number, especially, and that's okay. And look at that, it hasn't moved from yesterday. The same number, and today, same thing. Things were dead yesterday. Things aren't really moving this morning. The strikes are the same. See what happens in the first few minutes, right? Pick your pick. So it's going to be a wait and see. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, I do not have a big watch list here today. I mean, but for Fed with this small gap up, possible breakout on the 15 hourly, I would say 30-minute high day trade, which is still my bias, but we got to just play it a little tighter with the Fed day because that's not going to have the same follow through. But CVS, I just posted that as a long. I've been watching this for a long time. And I was waiting for a closing breakout. And that's exactly what yesterday is. And so now it's not extended. It's good to go over the high. Let's see, 68.11. Let me set an alarm. And here's another one of my, I don't have many favorites at all. We went through my list yesterday, but this is a favorite of mine. A 1, 2, 3, 4 relative strength breakout from consolidation, bullish weekly, monthly. Perfect. I see one print up here at 99. Ideally, it'll just stay in the top of this range until 10 o'clock and then break out. Why do I always say 10 o'clock? Well, it just gives me more comfort that the pattern I'm looking at now is going to hold. And then it also builds two more 15-minute bars of support up here. So that looks fantastic. S block alarm. So we have a directional option trade on this. We're long the $16 calls in the money. And now it's gapping up here. So I said sell half, 5-minute lows. I'll be monitoring the quotes, the spreads. But you always got to be careful not to put a market order in because sometimes these jerks will not even give you intrinsic value. So what does that mean? We got time. So it's trading at 1739 right now, right? So if I have $16 calls, I have 139 intrinsic value. So there should be 100% certainty, or maybe 99, that you should get filled at least intrinsic value, because you got 3 days of time decay that you're giving up. So what I like to do when they're spreading is I will look at the same $16 puts, and I'll say, okay, well, how much extrinsic value is in these puts? And then I try to get that identical amount on the call. So, I'll walk you through it again in real time, but I have a feeling they're going to open spready because of the gap up. RH, I just had an alarm. Look at that. My 228 alarm went off and it got smacked right back down. So this is a Climo I've been watching for a few weeks, and it just cannot make the turn. Client Climos are fluid bars down, accelerate from the 20, and a fluid, not a fluid, a potent turn. And so, whenever I talk about a concept, we can either point to Greg's course or an MT Live. It's the MT Live on turns. There's different pictures of turns. And guess what? This ain't one yet. It's 3 inside bars in a red bar in a downtrend. So it's not ready. I mean, Greg loves to draw. What if hypothetically a gap down here to, whatever, 206, 205, and then closed at 230, engulfing this? That would be a potent reversal then. But I don't have it yet. All right, I think these are old alarms. Sin F, we're in trail mode. Yeah, these are all old alarms from yesterday. HEI is a buy setup we're in. We're just in trail mode. Look, buy setup, daily, weekly. Those two time frames are in perfect alignment. So relative strength, the market was closed weak. This thing closed green with a higher high, higher low. That looks good. PGR, I see down. We stopped out of this yesterday, and good thing. We just avoided a problem there. That's an ugly gap. All right. So that's all my alarms. Let's go to earnings here. There's not many. And then the rest of my watch list. Sam's in Europe, parting. Lima X-ray, I like. It's not a 1-2-3 because yesterday's was not an inside bar. I mean, 2 days ago, well, both of them were not inside bar, but it's bullish consolidation. Well, actually, that's a deep retracement, but I'm going to set an alarm at 1060. If this were opening flat, I would say buy half lot yesterday's high. But yeah, I see the gap down. And this would be in our recent bar by bar MT Live. You got an igniting closing breakout, and I got 2 consolidation bars in the upper 80% of that. So bar by bar, remember we did that live exercise with AT&T a while back? We started right here on this buy setup. And look, bar by bar, kept you in this thing without emotion. Actually, I think we started way back here even. Yeah, we did a beautiful MT Live, just going bar by bar. And that was a good exercise. Stone. 1085. It's a bullish gap, but the 200 is lurking there. We need a pullback. Clorox, yeah, a short watch, sure. Yeah, looks lower, daily, weekly, monthly. Fast is on my long list. Yep, I got it up here. I got it right here. Let me get through these earnings though first. There's not many of them. ZTO, nah, it's up too many bars. HQY, that's nasty. Let's put that in the excessive gap, just to watch it. Watch it. It's ugly. Yeah, well, yeah, fast. Yep, I got on my list. I got an alarm up there. Day trade over the highs. Kind of a sloppy inverse head and shoulder in the 15. ALXC. Yeah, ideally, Grammy, we get an inside bar, but yeah, that's a closing breakout. Bullish weekly, monthly. Yeah, I like it. I like it. It just has a 40% topping tail. So not no rush, but let's see what it does. XEL. That I like. Yeah. Oh, what's the one that I was telling Brenda about? Shoot, I don't see it here. Greg, what was it? It's the one that had that downside shakeout. I'm sure I got an alarm on the other computer. But why don't I have it here? Maybe I deleted it. But yeah, there's another. This one kind of reminds me of it a little bit. But closing breakout and two little bars there with a void. Anyone in the green room remember? Let's stock them at a downside shakeout. All right, where did I leave off? Here. Light volume, no pattern. Just 58 and change. Maybe a call spread, 30-minute low. That's a mass 157. That's ugly. Williams Sonoma. Ah, you know what I just put together? I'll bet you RH competitors. Look, this did the exact move that Williams Sonoma just did. See that? That explains the movement in RH. Look at that, identical. Moved up on earnings, on WSM earnings, and now move back down on it. Now, had this opened flat, I would say it might be a retest pattern, but now it's gapping under this with a void, so it looks lower. Ollie North 103. There's a good gapper. Well, 104 would be better, but let's put that right here, Ollie North. That looks good. Gapper. Charad. Yeah, no good void. Kansas City Chiefs over yesterday's high. Well, it is gapping over yesterday's high. Yeah, so that's a bullish gap, maybe 30-minute high. Sig Jewelers 57. Wow, that's a big old gap. That's too big. Unless we can sell puts on it. Liquida, no pattern, and Jill. 1935. This is 30-minute high put spread idea. I like that 30-minute high. All right, I do not have a big list here, you all. Kava, I've been watching for 3 weeks, just like that other one, like RH. It hasn't made the turn yet. But if it gets over this red bar, then you got my attention. Cough was a Climo. remember I mentioned the MT Live on the turn? Well, guess what? This is an 8-bar turn. So over Monday's high, I like cough per directional input spread. Ah, here it is, TDS. TDS. Here's the one that I said I was looking for. So I like this one, downside shakeout. Yeah, let me make sure I get an alarm. I'll set an alarm. Yeah, I got it 3562, so I got it set. All right, Upstart. It's another example of it's trying to make the turn, but it's just not potent. But I have an alarm up here wherever around 50. Alex boundary. I think it needs more development. Delta. Climo pulled in yesterday, but it's a continuation pattern over Monday's high. There's a lot of Climos in airlines, hotels, air and cruise ships. BTU bottoming pattern. But I don't like the railroad track 20 and 50. It's just a visual sign of a power downtrend. All right, let's check out the fangs here. They're doing a whole lot better than yesterday. So Microsoft's breaking out there on the 15. So is Apple. Hey, Apple's a Climo. So if this were to close positive, then this is a Climo over Monday's high. Keep an eye on him. He's down a lot. Amazon looks horrible. Meta, horrible. Nvidia, horrible. Although 15-minute looks higher for scalpers. But, all right, we're popping right here into the open for some reason. Google, same. Looks horrible on the daily, but a lot of these 15-minute charts can go higher into the void. Visa alarm. Nah, nothing to do yet. CBS triggered. CBS has a go. Let me check calls inputs. CBS. Let's wait 5-minute high for CBS. And let me see, CBS calls 65. They're too spready. 66. Then they're spready and not enough premium for put spread either. Alex, fast day trade. Alarm just went off. Here, I like this one for day trade. Let's well, I can't give it to Telegram. But this looks great. 5-minute high, you all. Look at that 15-minute chart. Qs. I like fast better. Alex, fast has a superior 15 and daily to me than the Qs. I'm gonna wait 5 minutes. Let things not get caught up in that one little opening blast. Yeah, no, the 15-minute of cues look great. It's a gap breakout on this 15-minute chart. It looks better than the other horsemen too. So I totally agree on that's the best horseman, but I'm gonna wait 5 minutes here. And you know what? Let me check put spread too. Just there might be some juice because of the Fed day. Nobody thinks he's gonna do anything, but oh shoot, that was old. Never mind. I meant to move it to my closed section. It closed out yesterday, so just ignore that. Ignore um LZ. Yeah, yeah, over the week's time. Or it could be an intelligent entry on the 15 right here. GoDaddy, we're still in. Delta, still holding. Goldman, 80X. My brother got into this. MP hit. All right, so that was clean. I'll post that. But for me, I'll let it settle down. Six. Mains here. Hold on.
Dan, was there news on Tesla today?
I don't know. Remember, I don't know. I had a bad tech morning too.
Oh,
So the
yeah.
answer, I don't know. Uh, Goldman low alarm. We have a we have a directional and what's spread. Yeah, banks are selling off here and semis. But I've been playing defense. All right, so Goldman, all right, the put spread stopped out at a profit, and we still have 50 cents to go to a break even stop on the directional. All right, Goldman, we had the 520s. That's been going on for a couple weeks, Rocco.
Apple looks good. It's
Yeah,
getting better looking.
yeah. No, I said it's a Climo. Yeah, so yeah, it's finally, yeah, no, I said the same thing.
But ignoring the red bar. Someone asked me on social media, Ray Trades, if you're still on there. He asked me about the S&P. How did he say? Can S&P be a failed sell today, or do we continue the momentum towards the downside? Well, It could. The momentum to the downside is it going down and forming potentially a W. But if it was to do something like Apple, if you look at the daily chart of Apple and assuming it closed that way, if you were to get today a green bar negating the red bar on the S&Ps, then I would, you'd be hearing me say tomorrow, it's a buy, a red bar ignored, and a measured move up to the 200 MA or the 20,
Yep.
roughly around 5,800.
Yeah, totally.
And so that's why in the yesterday in the green room, I said, besides going nowhere, I said, this is a really a bad setup, a low odds setup as far as it going down or going up, because the red bar of having formed, the depth of retracement was like, it's probably not going to really go up today. But, considering it was down 17 days in a row and we had the turn, to start getting bearish, didn't make sense, not without further confirmation. So it's just, those type of things. When Robert asked about knowing what kind of a day would be kind of go nowhere day, that type of scenario is one that could lead to it, especially when you have a Fed announcement the next day. So you have the pattern to look at, and then you got a significant news item that can make traders want to stay on the sidelines. So clearly, the only person that won the battle yesterday was the algos or the brokers that collected all those commissions. But you got a lot of situations here, like for example, AAL. That was a climactic. It had a nice turn. Right? It hasn't totally negated things, but it's kind of like in limbo here. Can it continue to move up? That it's extended, it's doing nothing.
Yeah,
So
same Delta.
yeah, we just have patterns here that you know aren't what we want to trade. Until we get more information. I mean, I'm not saying there aren't patterns out there. I'm just saying what I'm talking about right now is just like, why bother trading those things?
Alex.
Bitcoin could be a day trade long. Bitcoin is kind of sitting here but above the high of the day. It gapped up from a whippy consolidation. It's a daily is just going sideways, but if it takes out the high, might be able to fill that gap on the 5-minute chart. COIN. Gapped up above the resistance and is just chopping around here. Hughes coming in for the gap fill.
Yeah, coming in violently. I think, I think, I think I'll see you at 2 o'clock. This is ugly start again. Totally different than yesterday, but still.
Alan's asking me about CRVO. It went from $2 to $10 in a couple of days. I think it needs a little bit of a rest, Alan. If you're in it, take some money off the table and hold on, see what it does. Sell a covered call. If it has options, it's a biotech stock, so could be news. Maybe it goes to 20, maybe it goes back to 2. S&P's come down pretty hard,
Mhm.
but at the bottom of yesterday's range, so not doing much of anything here.
Best block of ours. Gave up that gap, but I already get the stops in place, so let it play out. But fast, I like now over the high. Set an alarm 76.25. All right, 5 minute high now. 68.15.
Look back up again.
Let's see if there's anything at 550 for today. Nope. 10 cents. Wow. Shocked. It's that low. That low. Should be. Hey, our JP Morgan relative strength. That's a slow grinder. We have a put spread. 230. Yeah, no, apples a climb up. Relative strength today looks good.
Whippy, but that's a buy setup, but on that 5 minute bar, it's got almost a little less than 2.5 minutes to go. But it takes out the high of the day. That's a breakdown failure. That's a long. Be best to buy pullbacks. You get left behind, so be it. Goes coin.
XLF came back. Oil moving. Wow, XLE all the way back to the top. Although crude oil, these are drastically different pictures. HQY, bottom right, doing nothing. Ollie north, doing nothing. Yeah, half was good. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, breaking out now into the void. Looks good. Both for a day trade bias.
Go Apple.
Yeah, that was the best thing. Day trade there.
Coins doing nicely.
Could turn into a swing. Yeah, Bitcoin is that's movement. Mr. has a better daily. Put that on the list. Good. Yeah, remember I said let's see if this LX reverses. Not crazy about it though, but it did on earnings. Yeah, if the Qs were to close like this, it looks like a pounding long over yesterday's time. That's for a swing, but day trade, yeah, it's broke out on the hourly. 15 and hourly. Jack no turn. GoDaddy doing fine. SNF fine. Of course, Randy. Usually you get three. Usually you get three reactions in my experience. No, today. Today, after 2 o'clock. Duolingo still trying to make the turn. I got an alarm at 299.